Welcome back to another episode of Akron's favorite arts and music show, Lowdown.
We have another great show for you guys today, so let's not waste any more time. Welcome to Lowdown, everyone. I'm Colin Valencic.
And I'm Jenna Ramon.
As always, the Lowdown team was around town recently getting a scoop on all the cool things Akron has to offer in arts and music.
That's right, Colin. And this week, the Lowdown team traveled up to Cleveland to check out the 8th annual Bright Winter Fest. Let's see what it had to offer.
Hey guys, Lowdown is here on location today in Cleveland for Bright Winter Festival. We got local music, we got local art, we got local food. It's gonna be amazing. It's a ton of fun stuff happening in there, so let's go see what's in store.
Every song sounds the same. All they do is play it.
Bright Winterfest was started 7 years ago by a few Clevelanders that set out to encourage other locals to get out and embrace the cold
Put
weather.
on a favorite song. Every night's just alright. And you're waiting for some sparks.
Due to enormous local support, Bright Winter has grown from 800 people listening to music in an urban park to over 20,000 at the event's new home under the Cleveland Memorial Shoreway Bridge in the west bank of the Flats.
All the things that could be on my mind. All the things that could be on my mind. I can see her face, I can see her.
Local food trucks and ice sculptures accompany over 30 musical acts across 4 stages and 2 DJ tents throughout the day and into the night.
I can just go without the same old you.
Funk, pop punk, hip hop, and dance music, among several other genres, are all represented at Bright Winter, as well as local artists and vendors.
My thoughts, yeah, the same old one. When every dream's just as great as a bitter, empty day.
Notable artists from this year's event included Signals Midwest, The Modern Electric, FJ Funk Shui, and The Lighthouse and the Whaler.
Every new attempt you make, you shout towards heaven, heaven say.
Each and every year, Brightfest sets out to contribute to the Cleveland cultural landscape at a low cost to achieve their mission to bring joy to the community through arts and music.
All the things that could be on my mind. All the things that could be on my mind. I can see her face, I can see her face.
To assure each year is as successful as the last, make sure to visit the Support Bright tab at brightwinter.com, and we'll see you next year for Bright 2018.
What a great event. It looked like you guys had a good time. I'm so mad I had to work that day.
Yeah, too bad.
What is that supposed to mean?
Oh, just forget about it, Jenna. Come on. Let's just check out our next story where our own Jack Storin caught up with the conductor at the Akron Symphony and their latest show.
Christopher Wilkins, I'm music director of the Akron Symphony and conductor of Gospel Meets Symphony.
Hello everybody, my name is Jennifer McKell Jones. I'm the chorus master for Gospel Meets Symphony Chorus.
This is the 24th edition of Gospel Meets Symphony. It first premiered in 1994 in Akron Civic Theater. It's a combination of gospel traditions and classical music traditions, but that's saying a lot because gospel music is certainly not one thing. It's an amalgam of many different styles and historical genres. What's unusual is the idea of supplying a full large-scale symphony orchestra to back a gospel choir, or to look at it the other way around, to have a full-voiced gospel choir added to what we normally do at the symphony. And the sound is unique, and it's thrilling, and it's enormous. We have people from all over the community, many different backgrounds and levels of experience with music. There are many in the choir who've never been on stage before. There are probably some who've never sung in a formal choir setting before. We have, on the other hand, school teachers and music teachers and soloists in their own church choirs, up to professional singers. And the soloists that perform all come out of the choir, so it's kind of amazing to see this community choir providing that level of extraordinary professional level musicianship. And then of course the Akron Symphony, which is a terrific full professional level orchestra.
What is so unique about what we do during the Gospel Meets Symphony concert is the fact that we bring two completely different genres, mindsets, trainings together, and we put everybody on stage. And for someone who has never come to a concert like this, your first thought is like, okay, exactly what's about to happen. And what we have managed to do each time, each year, is actually show community and show collaboration and show how we are not so different after all. Music is actually a very unifying agent. So it's actually fun to be able to step into one another's world, to hear and to feel all of that wonderful history and character that exists in symphonic music, and for them to be able to feel the passion and the emotion that is always injected into gospel music, because the whole design is for you to feel good. We want there to be a message and something that is encouraging and helpful. So that's really what is so unique about this concert and this experience.
That was a really interesting collaboration of two really important art genres. I'm glad we got to see that.
Yeah, and I'm glad it's time for our first break, and I think my popcorn's ready. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Lowdown. We're going to keep it rolling here.
Yeah, our very own Eddie was out in Highland Square visiting Square Records.
Yep, it's an Akron staple that's been around for years, plus vinyl's making a comeback. Let's check it out.
My name is David Ignizio, co-owner of Square Records. Square Records started in 2003, it was August of 2003. It was me and two other partners. We started the shop basically just from scratch. It was a lot smaller back then. It was in the same location, but just kind of opened it up with a minimal amount of product out there, I guess. Just kept building it up from there, and it just kind of slowly became what it is right now. Ever since we opened, but particularly the last 4 or 5 years, like when vinyl has really caught on, like more and more. You know, it's kind of slowly increasing, and then something within the last 4 years has kind of really spiked it up. So at this point, yeah, vinyl is what we sell the most of easily. We still have a few CDs, but I'd say we sell 80% vinyl at this point. So we've had, art in here from, basically for the last 13 years, trying to change it up every once in a while, and usually local artists, so just kind of like have space available for either people in the neighborhood or surrounding communities to show their stuff. Occasionally they'll do art openings, you know, have musicians play in here for those, but every once in a while we'll have musicians play in here. We've hosted like poetry readings, performance art, all sorts of stuff, because this space it's just kind of a small space, but it's still kind of wide open, and you know, there's a lot of people with the artistic bent in the neighborhood that have good ideas that don't necessarily have a space to you know, to make those realities. So, you know, if somebody comes up to me with a good idea, and I think it would work in here, we'll do it. We definitely knew we wanted to be in Highland Square just because it's, you know, a lot of young people in the neighborhood and a lot of people that are into art and music in this neighborhood. It's just, this is kind of where you want to be in Akron for that. Well, the address is 824 West Market Street in Akron. And you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and we have a website, which probably needs to be updated, but it's squarerecordsakron.com, and it'll link you to all that other stuff and email and all that, so.
Thanks, Eddie. I love the resurgence of vinyl in the past couple of years.
Yeah, it's a great way to listen to music, just a totally different sound.
Yeah, I totally agree. And on that note, I think it's time to dive into another segment of Jack's Music Reviews. What do you got for us, Jack?
Hello, me compadres. I'm Jack Stern, here to give you some of the hottest tracks from the world of music. Let's get right to it. Coming up first is the new Animal Collective track, Kinda Bonkers, fresh off their new Painters EP. The track continues to develop the more direct, pop-influenced sound from their previous album, Painting With. While that album lacked focus and felt too busy, this track sets a course to correct those issues. The hook and chorus are very infectious and offer a great blend of Avery and Panda Bear's vocals. Aside from a great lyric that compares life to that of French toast, the lyrics simply serve to drive the band's trademark use of tribal drums and other psychedelia. I didn't enjoy Painting With nearly as much as I've enjoyed the band's past albums, but this track encapsulates the better parts of the art pop sound they aim for on that album. Definitely check this out if you're a fan of Animal Collective's past work. Oi mans, are you in it on Stormzy? Hashtag murky. That was just a little British slang asking you about Stormzy, the latest rapper to make a crossover from the UK subgenre of hip-hop known as grime. Gang Signs and Prayer is the latest album from Stormzy, and it has some real bangers. Big for Your Boots is just another standout single. The beat blends some heavy bass with percussion that just claps in between some classic pitched-up female vocals. Stormzy flows effortlessly over the beat as he uses some fun wordplay to compare someone who's gotten too big for their boots, but doesn't have a face that's too big for Stormzy's boots, as he puts it. If you're looking for an album that has some classic grime bangers that also happens to blend some elements of gospel into the mix, like some more American artists like Chance the Rapper and Kanye West, then definitely check out Stormzy's latest album. Now I'm going to move on to a much less innovative rapper. Future has managed to crank out 2 full albums in the past 2 weeks, with his self-titled Future and its sister album, Hendrix. Future is in many ways a by-the-numbers release for Future, using the same Future flow, talking about the same Future topics on beats that use the usual gaggle of trap producers. Draco is one of the few standout tracks with some very high-pitched synths that provide a slightly different beat than what we would normally hear from Future. However, Future's flow in the song is nothing new in the context of the album or even his entire career. With his second album, Hendrix, Future does try to make his music more lush and goes in a more chilled R&B direction, but the result is some music that is just as trivial as before. Future can't seem to produce songs on an album that don't follow a cookie-cutter formula, making his music really trite no matter what direction he takes it in. Future used to have some really hot mixtapes, but I just cannot recommend his latest material. Lastly, I want to discuss the latest release from British indie rock band Los Campesinos. Their latest album, 16s, is their first release since 2013. Five Flucloxacillin is another anthemic power ballad from the band chronicling their own struggles with self-medication and mental illness. The band creates a cathartic chorus at the end of the song as they build on the tension expressed in the lyrics. The only thing negative I can say about this song is the instrumental feels pretty typical for an indie rock band in 2017. However, some of the other songs on the album make up for that by bringing in some more non-traditional guitar and drum patterns. Los Campesinos continues to deliver consistent output with this album, making them something indie rock fans should definitely give a listen. That's all we've got time for today, so let's wrap this up with a nice little outro. I'm Jack Stern, and tune in next time for more of the latest music reviews on Lowdown.
More killer reviews from our own Jack Stern. Thanks, Jack.
Yeah, he truly never disappoints.
That's one thing that we can always agree on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we could also agree that this next segment is pretty cool.
Yeah, our guy Rob Quartz was lucky enough to interview James Matteo, who starred in Hollywood flicks like Band of Brothers, and we've got the exclusive footage.
Hey, my name is James Matteo, and I'm an actor, teacher, producer, film and television.
Private Picante, have you been blousing your trousers over your boots like a paratrooper?
No, sir.
That explained the creases at the bottom.
Well, obviously, my experience in the Band of Brothers, that's, the job that keeps on giving is what I like to say. I started that job as a young man, and I've made some great relationships with the actual man who served, the veterans. Great relationship with Frank Ricani, the man I portrayed. Sadly, we lost him in 2014, but he lived a wonderful life, and I miss him dearly. As well as my brothers, the actors, we still stay in touch. We have our reunions, which is a great way to catch up, and still great friends today. Band of Brothers was a monumental experience for me. It truly was. So the great thing about Cleveland, which I didn't expect when I landed here, was the film community. I started teaching right away privates, and that moved into me opening up James Matteo Studios, which we run out of Sugar and Falls. And I'll be doing a 5-week intensive film workforce program for Tri-C that begins in January. And that's just sort of giving aspiring filmmakers a chance to understand how a film set operates. And at the end of that, we actually shoot a short film that they will be involved in. They will actually see and have the physical skills to go out there and get a job on the set. Well, the setting from New York to obviously Cleveland is much different. I mean, I've lived in New York for over 30 years. I love New York, where my family is, the food, the culture, I can't say enough about that. It was nice to get off the main drag. I felt like I've grown up in the big city, a major city, my whole life. And it was nice to sort of sit back and just enjoy my life at a different pace. The food here really, really good. I didn't expect that, but the food here is tremendous. Yeah. Cleveland's one of them places where you immediately get sucked into the sports. And when I landed here, the Cavs started winning, the Indians were winning like crazy, and obviously the Browns. I'm not here long enough, but I do feel like there is some positive change in that direction. So you get involved into the sports. Ohio State. It's been great. It's been really, really good. But baseball sense, I'm a diehard Yankee fan. I'm from the Bronx, right? I can't blame you for that. I'm a diehard Yankee fan. But the funny thing about that is, when I was really into baseball was when Cleveland had Jim Thome, Manny Ramirez, Albert Bell, Lofton, Vizquez. You had this squad, this team that was the team that would beat the Yankees. So I actually enjoyed watching Cleveland at that time. So I was kind of a little bit of an Indians fan. If you asked me who my second favorite team was, oddly enough, and I'm not trying to suck it up, it was probably Cleveland. The one thing I can never give up is acting. Acting is my bread and butter. But obviously, as an artist and in this industry that we are today, is you need to have your sticky fingers in other avenues, such as writing, producing, directing, just understand the industry as a whole. So, of course, always still acting. I recently did an episode of Blue Bloods and Law & Order SVU out there in New York, and I know there's a few films that were coming here that I kind of auditioned for. I always have my sticky fingers in something, whether it's teaching, acting, producing, writing. It's just the only thing I know how to do. I've been doing it for 25 years.
Very cool. Thanks, Rob.
Super jealous you got to meet an actual Hollywood star.
What, am I not enough of a star for you?
Colin, we're not really Hollywood level.
Hang on a second. You're telling me my 350 Twitter followers don't make me a star?
This might take a minute. We'll be right back. Okay, so those celebrities.
Welcome back to Lowdown, guys. We're about to wrap it up and head out. But first, Jenna, what were you up to this week?
Oh, I'm really glad you asked, actually, because I painted rocks.
What?
Rocks. I painted rocks.
That was your big event last week. Rocks.
Okay, so I know it sounds a little weird, but it was actually super fun. I went to a Northeast Ohio Rocks painting party, and I got to see what they're really all about. Watch, and maybe you'll learn something.
Okay.
We actually found a rock here in the center first. We had somebody that was cleaning out on top of the refrigerator back in the kitchen. And in the process, she found this little rock, and it had instructions on the back. So they took a picture in front of the Cuyahoga Valley Art Center front door and posted on Northeast Ohio Rocks. We contacted them and asked if it would be okay if we were to host events such as this here. And they gave us the stipulations, and Valerie's been managing the events ever since.
We've invited whomever wanted to come to paint a rock. They're going to paint their rock, they're going to place a label on the bottom of their rock, paint it with Mod Podge to seal all the good artwork in, and then they're going to hide their rock somewhere in Cuyahoga Falls. And when their rock is found, there's a little message on the back that hooks up with the Cuyahoga Valley Art Center and Northeast Ohio Rocks Facebook. You post it where you found it, and then you get to take that rock and hide it somewhere else. So the idea and the mission behind it is to just bring some unexpected smile to someone as they walk by and see a painted rock. Hoping that our students, by coming here, will get engaged with the center as they live here in the Falls and get more involved with the art in the community.
Okay, that actually looked kind of fun. I think I get it now.
Good. Maybe next time I'll take you with me.
Can't wait. Alright guys, that's all we have time for this episode, but we will see you next time for more of Akron's best in art and music.
Don't forget to keep in touch on Twitter and Facebook at ZTV Lowdown, and you can check out our YouTube channel to see all the cool stuff we've ever done. I'm Jenna Remote.
And I'm Colin Valensic, and that's the Lowdown.
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. To find out how you can make Emmy-winning media, visit the UA School of Communication online. ZTV. Make media. Make a difference.